Welcome to Winning with Lead Generation and CRM. We're going to be talking about how to go from funnel to closed transaction today. Have a pen and notepad close by. My name is Randy Cochran, and I am the Director of National Growth and Development for Equity Real Estate. And we're an independent real estate company. We're located based out of Salt Lake City, Utah, is our corporate office. But we have offices in 28 states currently around the country. We have two more opening, and we are growing nationwide, and that's exciting. Myself, I've now been in real estate since December of 2000. Personally, I've coached and trained thousands of real estate professionals on how to scale their business through systems that convert, not just capture leads. And really, the number one reason that agents fail with online leads isn't a lack of leads, it's a lack of systems. Oftentimes, the leads come in and then they just get lost or unfortunately not even followed up with. And so, in today's session, we're going to show you how to design a high converting lead funnel and what that looks like. We're going to talk about automating your follow up and mastering your CRM to work smarter and to close more transactions. And as always, look for that golden nugget in today's webinar because as real estate professionals, if you're brand new to the industry, you might not know what a CRM is. That's a contact resource management program. If you're a seasoned agent or a broker, it really is the lifeblood of our business. And coming from an industry before real estate, I always had a contact resource manager for about 10 years. Back then, it was very archaic compared to what it looks like now with technology. But, for a lot of business professionals, when we talk about old school, it was called a Rolodex or 3x5 cards. So the good news is we don't have to rely on paper any longer. We can now rely on technology, but the challenging part about technology is if it's out of sight, it's out of mind. And so make sure that if you don't have a CRM, if you're looking for CRM recommendations at the end of this webinar today, I'm going to get you my contact information, and we can definitely get you some suggestions on what CRMs you can be using. Now, when we look at the funnel blueprint for realtors on the screen, a good funnel creates predictable appointments and consistent opportunities. A great funnel just doesn't collect emails, it qualifies and warms up the leads. And of course, with AI and technology now, a lot of that technology is interacting with our potential clients before we do. And the challenging part uh, with AI is it's not personal. And artificial intelligence is awesome, but what we're learning and what we're integrating now into all of our marketing and communication and follow-up is not called AI, it's called II. And that's interactive intelligence. Because if you're interactive with artificial intelligence or automated intelligence, there's a gap and things get misinterpreted. It hallucinates. It tries to guess sometimes what the person that they're interacting with is thinking or doing, and it's inaccurate. And that's where we start to lose people. So if you are integrating AI into your business, you need to test it as a potential client to see how it's interacting with you before you ever roll it out to anybody else. The key components of a real estate funnel, the number one component at the bottom of the pyramid is at the top of the pyramid is your traffic source. So it's the ads that you're running, and these can be direct mail pieces. These can be print pieces, they can be flyers on a property, it can be radio, media, social media, it can be content, it can be your client events. That's really where the funnel begins. Once you have your funnel and you're getting eyeballs, or what is called grips in marketing advertising, what you're doing is you're trying to direct your eyeballs onto a landing page, or sometimes it's your print media, where you're offering a clear value, such as a free report or a guide. And it needs to be attention grabbing, but at the same time, everybody's heard the term clickbait. Don't use clickbait to get somebody to your offer, and then when they get to your offer, have it be something else. That's immediately going to turn off your prospect. And we only have somebody's attention for 3 to 8 seconds anyway. And so when they actually land on your value or your free report or guide, it needs to be compelling enough to keep them there to continue reading. The lead magnet becomes your home buyer checklist, your neighborhood guide, or your market report. And depending on what market you're in right now, one of the things that is really getting a lot of attention are tax notices. A lot of property owners this time of year get their tax notices. Those taxes are due at the end of the year, at the very beginning of the year, and offering uh, an item of value like comparison or comparable market analysis for a homeowner to compare that to their tax assessment, where they could go in and dispute their taxes and save money, is a very, very compelling offer. And then your call to action is to get that person to either schedule a consultation with you, download a resource, or register for an upcoming webinar. And what our suggestion is exactly what we're doing today. Make an offer, host a webinar, provide a copy of the recording of the webinar, but in addition to that, provide additional resources of value in the form of an ebook like we're going to provide for everybody today. And that becomes the guide or the checklist that a person can follow to get the result that they're looking for. And the wonderful part about technology is, yes, AI can help develop your information, and then it can also help you develop your marketing or your marketing strategy, but it gets very, very generic, and you have to go in and make it your own. As you're automating lead capture and nurturing, think automation from here on out. Anything that you do in your business more than 3 times, you have to have a system behind it. And the acronym for system is save yourself time, energy, money. I'm going to say that again. The acronym for system is save yourself time, energy, money. And automating lead capture and nurturing gives you leverage and gets you your time back. In business, one of the things that we always talk about is ROI, which is return on investment. What most real estate brokers and most agents should always be thinking in their mind is not just ROI, it's ROT. And ROT stands for return on time. Our time is more valuable than the investment, because we can always make more money and generate more revenue for our business, but we can't create more time. Everybody has the exact same 24 hours in a day. And the biggest difference between producers and top producers is exactly what they do with that time. The automation that you're creating using your contact resource management system creates consistency and ensures that no lead is left behind. And it's an immediate response that matters. moving forward, and write this in your notes, write down speed to lead. Speed to lead is so important now because oftentimes with some of the companies that are out there that consumers are going to, which might be providing us with leads as well, they might not be sending that lead just to us. It might be going to multiple people at the exact same time. And if somebody clicks on something and requests information, that speed to lead is going to make or break your transaction, especially if somebody's looking at a property that just came on the market that maybe scanned a QR code or called your lead capture number on your sign. By using your contact resource management program and setting up campaigns, you'll want to set up auto text or auto emails right after somebody requests the information or signs up for the information. And with our programs now, those can be very, very personalized. And the nice part about it is we can see what the interaction is with the potential client. So we can see if they clicked on the link, we can see if they opened up the information, we can see how long they stayed on the website, and we can see how engaged that person is with us. Because if you send them the link and they click on it and they're only there for 2 or 3 seconds, you know they didn't read anything. If you're using structured workflows such as 3-day and 7-day nurturing sequences, those begin to build trust and keeps you top of mind. I don't know about you, but if you've been in your home or you've been talking with someone and you've had your cell phone close by and you start talking about something, all of a sudden, every time you log into social media, it's pushing you that data or that information because Siri and Alexa are always listening. And you want to think about your business just like they do. You want to match your message to the lead's intent. Are they a buyer? Are they a seller? Are they an investor? Are they a potential tenant or a renter? What type of business are they interested in engaging with you? For new buyers, they need to receive goal setting messages. How soon do they want to be in their home? Right now, we're heading into the holidays, and it's a great time to run a new home for the holidays campaign. Also, if your buyer is looking in a specific market area and you know, for example, that they have home buyer grants available through the city or the county there, you can integrate additional valuable information that could motivate that person to move forward faster, especially if there's a deadline on those value adds. And if they're a homeowner and they are thinking about selling their home, receiving that complimentary home evaluation or the tips on what they can do to prepare their home for sale so that it sells the fastest for the most amount of money in the shortest period of time, that is gripping information for a potential seller lead. And most of our CRMs now integrate landing pages where you can direct your potential client, for example, that homeowner, to a lead capture or a landing page to receive their free home evaluation. And they can just request that online. You can customize that, send it out to them, and follow up to see if it's what they were thinking and how you can move that client forward. There's also programs like Zapier or Make, which also have automations, and then you can also calendar sync to streamline everything. Um, when you're making your automations and you're using third-party companies or plugins, you want to test those before they ever go out to anybody else. Your automation protects your consistency and it helps keep the leads engaged. When you are when you are building your campaigns and you're entering your clients into your CRM, you are going to want to classify them as an A, a B, a C or a D lead, and an A lead, so that you understand what that means, is that means appointment. That is somebody that is a potential seller, a buyer, or a tenant that you have an appointment with on your calendar. If you don't have an actual appointment with that person on your calendar, they are not an A lead. A B lead is somebody that you're actively working with that can buy or sell or rent within the next 30 to 90 days. A B lead, you are going to follow up with that B lead 2 times a month, and you're going to follow up with them on the 1st and the 15th. A C lead is anybody that's 90 days out or more. And that C lead, you're always going to follow up with them on the week of the 8th, once a month. Anybody else that's in your database that is your sphere of influence, you should be contacting them once a month in some form on the week of the 22nd. That can be a call, that can be a voice message, that can be a video message, that can be a digital or in-person newsletter or a client event. But you want to be staying in contact with your SOI once a month during that week of the 22nd. And then a D lead is somebody that's been an A, a B, or a C that's no longer active that you're working with, but you want to continue to follow up over time. That's somebody that's going to be more than that 90 days out or more. And then, of course, if somebody has indicated at some point they've raised their hand that, but they're not interested in doing anything right now, they're not considered active, you're going to put them underneath that sphere of influence column, and then you're just going to continue to follow up. And of course, if you work with somebody, you don't have a good relationship with them, and it's somebody that you don't want to work with, you need to tag that person in your CRM as well so that you don't reach out or contact them ever again. Okay. Now, sometimes those clients reach out and contact us, but at least if they're in your CRM and you have really, really good notes, you'll know. Now, when you're converting your digital leads into conversions, I mentioned this earlier, and the speed to lead is key to the conversion. When you're contacting your new leads, you want to reach out to them within 5 minutes whenever possible. Now, if you are an individual or a solo agent and you don't have an admin or you don't have any team members, then you need to find a way to automate a message that simply says, I received your information, I'm currently with a client, and I'm going to reach back out to you as promptly as I can. However, if you have an admin or you have team members and you're a team lead or a broker owner or a manager, have other agents that are helping you where you're leveraging your time follow up. But if they're going to follow up, you need to monitor how quickly they're following up, and you need to know what they're saying specifically. So hopefully you're providing them with the script and you're role playing it with them before they talk to any potential client. And then you need to know the result of that conversation, which means that the team member or the agent or the admin, they need to be putting those notes into your contact resource management system. We have a sample message that you can copy. Of course, you can make this your own. When somebody reaches out and they've maybe been on your website, your landing page, maybe they came to one of your open houses, you're going to just simply reach out and you need to use their name right out of the gate. And when you're talking to potential customers or clients, you need to use their name 3 to 5 times as quickly as possible. Because if you're using their name, it starts to personalize a conversation and develop that relationship. So I could simply say, hey, Dave, I saw that you were checking out homes in Draper, Utah. Are you looking for something specific? And they may engage with you, they may not engage with you, but what you're trying to do is determine a needs analysis. And You can be using the home buyer worksheet or the property information worksheet for sellers, where those worksheets guide you through the conversation, because now we're finding out what their wants and needs are and their time frame. As an agent, when you're working with buyers and you're connecting with them, especially for the very first time, there's four things that we need to know right out of the gate. The first thing that we need to know is the home for them or for somebody else. The second thing that we need to know is, are they working with another real estate agent and have they made a commitment to them? The third thing that we need to know is, are they pre-approved for their lending? And if so, who they are working with so we can reach out and contact them and verify their information.
You are beautiful.
And the fourth thing that we need to know is, do they have a home to sell before they buy this one? And those are just some qualifying questions right out of the gate. And of course, if they're calling on a specific property, they are going to have their own agenda because they want to know specific things about the property. As we follow up with our buyers and our sellers and our potential tenants, for those of you doing property management, you need to have a 10-day hot pursuit sequence in your CRM. And that sequence is going to be calls, texts, and messages or emails. You need to have a 90-day nurturing sequence, and then you have to have that long-term quarterly check-ins. And this is aside from your monthly email newsletter campaign, your print newsletter campaign that may be the same thing that also goes out, and then also those invitations to your quarterly client events. A secret weapon in your business is voice and video messages. Voice and video messages make a potential client listen to the information. If you send them an email or a quick text message after you've tried to call them and they did not answer, even if you leave them a voice message, most people have voice to text, they just look at it and delete it anyway. But if you send somebody a voice or a video message, it's hard to transcribe, and they actually have to take a second to listen to it. And make sure that these messages are no longer than 30 seconds to 2 minutes long. You're also going to personalize the content for who you're talking to. And then that authentic communication is going to build trust and rapport. And especially in today's market, economy, and climate, your clients, what they're looking for is they just want to work with people they trust. It's that trust factor, because if somebody doesn't trust you in real estate, they're not going to do business with, in some cases, the largest financial investment they'll ever make in their lifetime. And so they need to know, like, and trust you. But also, if they know, like, and trust you and you wow them and have a phenomenal experience, at the end of the transaction, it's going to make you way more referable than not. And in our business, we want to stop chasing cold leads and start building warm, value-based relationships. A cold lead is the most challenging lead to convert, especially if all they did is find something online and click on it. And you don't know them or have a relationship with them. That is the hardest lead to convert. However, if you're building value-based relationships through networking, through open houses, and through follow-up, it's going to change your business. One of the things that we're going to be providing today to everybody that attends this webinar is not just the ebook on converting digital leads into conversations, but we're going to be providing you with an ebook called the 8651. And the 8651 ebook is designed to help you start building these warm, value-based relationships. And it's going to show you how to close 86 transactions in a year, working with the 50 people most likely to give you a referral. And the only thing you have to do is work this program 1 hour per day, and it works. Now, your CRM is, as I mentioned, your lifeblood, and you want to develop best practices. Your CRM habits drive the growth in your business. And some of you, especially if you're brand new to real estate, or maybe you've been in real estate for quite a long time and you have a CRM, my question is, when was the last time you used it? It in my business, I have used my CRM every business day for my whole career. It is where we spend all of our time because that is the gold mine. It gives us the direction on who we're calling, who we're following up with, and what's happening on every transaction in our business. And if you're new to real estate, you don't have your CRM set up, more than likely you have a cell phone. And if you have an Apple phone, what we'd like you to do at the end of the webinar today is go to your contact list and scroll to the very bottom. And when you get to the very bottom, it's going to tell you the total number of contacts in your cell phone. If you have an Android phone, an Android phone won't do that, but there is a great program in the App Store that you can use called Contact to Excel. And you can download that app and it'll transfer all of the contacts in your phone to an Excel spreadsheet that you can upload into your CRM. And then you can start sorting those and then you can put them on your nurturing campaigns. When you take the total number of contacts in your in your phone or your CRM, and let's say, for example, there are 100 contacts, which is probably a pretty low number. We know because statistics say that 3 to 7% of all of the contacts in your phone or your database are going to make a real estate transaction of some kind within a 12-month period of time, which means that is 3 to 7 closed transactions that you potentially can capture. Think about that. If you have 1,000 people in your database or your phone, that should be 30 to 70 transactions a year. But then the biggest question is, why don't agents close that number? And the reason why is they're not mastering their CRM. We call this data hygiene, and data hygiene is money hygiene. What that means is when you add people to your database or you import these records, you need to remove duplicate records. You need to make sure that you're always updating the lead statuses and that you're tagging contacts properly. And then you're going to segment your database into your buyers, your sellers, your sphere of influence, your past clients, and most importantly, your referral partners. Your referral partners become an extremely important uh, part of your business because you're not only giving them referrals, they're giving you referrals. And because your CRM is your command center, if it's not in the CRM, it does not exist. We can't track anything if it's not in the CRM. We have no idea what your numbers are. And you want to track your conversion ratios from that lead to the appointment to the closing. That way we know exactly what your numbers are. In addition to the ebook that we're going to provide in that 8651, we're also going to be providing you with a daily success habit tracker for your business so that you can track exactly what you're doing so that your business becomes predictable. You're going to want to review your lead source for your return on your investment monthly to focus on what's actually working. And you need to remember that anything that you're investing in, whether it's leads, whether it's advertising, whether it's billboard, whether it's print, shopping carts, like I see all this kind of crazy advertising out there that real estate agents do, a bench on the golf course. If you're not getting a 3 to 5x return on your investment in whatever that thing is, you need to turn that off immediately. And right now we're coming down towards the end of the year. We're in the fourth quarter. And this is the point in time where you need to be evaluating all of your business expenses and what that first quarter of the year is going to look like so you can reallocate funds. As you're building your lead generation ecosystem, a single funnel can work, but a full ecosystem will scale your business. If you're combining paid and organic strategies, you're going to get more leads faster. And what that's going to do is it's going to provide you with more consistent closed transactions and income. And at the top of your funnel, it does not matter where that lead comes from, but as it comes through the funnel, it needs to end up in one place, and that's your CRM. And you need to make sure that one of three things happens. They either buy or sell from you, they tell you, no, I'm not interested, or they send you a restraining order that says, don't ever contact me again. When you are doing your Facebook and Instagram ads or your YouTube shorts and your social media content or your emails and newsletters to stay top of mind, make sure that every single one of those is customized for whatever platform you're using, because their algorithms are all very different. As you're looking at your goals for 2025 and you're thinking about your goals for 2026 and where you're at in your business now and where you want to be, and you're evaluating your expenses for the year, one of the things that you may want to do is evaluate the brokers that you're with. And Equity Real Estate, we're a set fee company, which means that your expenses become predictable. And your funnel and your CRM are only part of the equation, but your brokerage model matters too, especially if you're with a company that has some type of split model where it might be a 60-40, 70-30, 80-20, or 90-10. And you may also have franchise fees that never go away. This brokerage model that Equity has developed makes so much sense, because traditional commission splits can limit how much of your hard-earned revenue you actually get to keep. And our set fee brokerage allows you to keep more of your commissions on every deal, which means you can reinvest your savings into lead generation, marketing systems, and tools. You can build a business now that scales with less overhead, and you can operate with more freedom and flexibility. When your cost per transaction becomes predictable, your profit margins grow, and your lead generation becomes a true investment, just not an expense. And I experienced that myself because I owned a real estate franchise for about 10 years. And that franchise also came with a franchise fee. And when I made the move from that company to Equity clear back in 2011, because I was with a set fee company with predictability, my profitability shot through the roof. So now might be a really good time to make that evaluation. Your own growth is crucial to you and your business. And the longer that you're in real estate, the more business you should always do. It should always be going up. It should never be going down. If it's going down, the reason why it's going down is because you're not using your CRM correctly to nurture what's already in your database. As real estate brokers and agents, we always need to work like a hunter, but we need to think like a farmer. And our database are the seeds that we plant, that we cultivate, and that continue to grow. Take action today by implementing one new automation or CRM improvement in what we've covered in today's webinar. Small, consistent improvements create big pipelines and predictable growth. I'd like for you to connect with me, and of course you can connect with me on LinkedIn, but also I would like you to write down my direct phone number, and this is my call or text number, and this is my serve regardless of opportunity that I'm providing for you, and that is, if you need help in your real estate business, regardless of whether or not you're with Equity or any other company, you can call or text me. Also, you can give me an email or send me an email at randy@equity-usa.net. And then you can also scan that QR code that's currently on the screen, and you can schedule a 15-minute phone call with me, a 30-minute web meeting, or a 1-hour web meeting. And whatever you are struggling with in your real estate business, I will help you and we will fix that challenge or that problem. For those of you that attended today, you're going to be receiving an email from us a little later this afternoon with all of the items of value that we promise. And if you're watching this video on our YouTube channel and you would like the items that we have shared with you today, simply send me an email and let us know that you have watched our webinar and that you're requesting the ebook, the 8651, and the Daily Success Habits Tracker, and we will email those out to you. Thanks again for joining us today. Everybody have a powerful and productive day. Be successful, and most of all, be safe. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye.